Super Mario 64 is possibly one of the most important games ever. It made 3D games not out of the possibility to make, while also making it fun to play, with good controls and swift movement. However, the game still has its flaws, such as the camera and some of the later stages, and underutilizing some of Mario's moves. However, it still shaped gaming to what it is today. It was so good that Nintendo decided to make a remake of this game for the DS to show the DS's power. This game, however, is not as brightly looked at compared to its predecessor. I personally grew up with this version and enjoyed a lot. Sure, only 8 movement options are not very convenient, but I think it's just as good, if not better, than the original game. It added more stages, updated the graphics, added more stars, and of course, added Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi as unlockable playable characters. However, this video isn't to talk about the base game and its content. We are instead going to talk about a mystery within the Mario community. Similar to the Super Mario 64 is personalized, the DS version also got its fair share of personalization mysteries. Of course, not as much, but there's still many to cover, and I'm just going to come out and say it's not real. The only way it could be real is if Miyamoto brought back the personalization, which probably wasn't even real in the first place. This video is just supposed to be a definitive version of my old every copy of Super Mario 64 DS is personalized video, and it's just made for fun. Now without further delay, let's start with the courses that are already in the game. Bob-omb Battlefield. Easy Way Out. Alright, this is a really quick one. So, the Easy Way Out is an anomalous mission found in the DS version of Bob-omb Battlefield, where the player would have to press a purple switch to open the gate that's, under the bridge. But the gate just leads to like this open area with a white hill and dirt, so I don't know where the star would be, but it's there. Yep, that's literally it. Sunshine Isles. Moonlight Isles. Several people have claimed that there is a nighttime version of Sunshine Isles named Moonlight Isles, most commonly found on the 3rd floor or just replacing the Sunshine Isles painting in the rec room. This level is described as either a nighttime version of Sunshine Isles or a completely new level. The stars in this level are inconsistent between reports, but it's safe to say that there would probably be a Silver Star mission. Level expansion. Apparently, Sunshine Isles can be expanded into a full course. This typically contains the basic missions such as defeating a group of enemies, collecting 8 red coins, Switch Star, Silver Stars. Apparently, piantas from Super Mario Sunshine can be found that can sometimes give players stars, like toads. And even a Wiggler boss fight can be found somewhere in the level. Battle Fort. Level expansion. Just like Sunshine Isles, apparently Battle Fort can also be expanded into a full course. Most reports say that the walls are pushed back, revealing similar geometry with other missions such as 8 red coins, finding a star in a box, climbing up a pole and jump across floating platforms, and even fighting King Bob-omb. A bit sidetracked, but I have a funny little story for this course, and the only reason I knew it existed was by playing Versus Mode by myself. So yeah, that's kind of sad, but I don't know what to think. You tell me what you think. Big Boo Battle. Name error. Despite the level's boss being King Boo, the name of the level is actually called Big Boo Battle, which is obviously a mistake on the developer's part. The dialogue also has an error, referring to King Boo as Big Boo, despite them being different bosses. This really has nothing to do with personalization, but I just still want to talk about it because this and the Goon Boss battle don't really have any personalization to them, so yeah. Chief Chili Challenge. Hidden Mission. Chief Chili Challenge apparently has a secret mission involved with unlocking Waluigi. You first have to collect the power flowers in the mirror room in an upside down L formation, then enter the level and it will be mildly different. You will first have to collect all of the coins in the level, totaling up to 79 coins, then enter the boss fight and make Chief Chili drop coins until the coin counter reaches 100. After that, a mushroom should appear, allowing you to become huge. Use this to defeat Chief Chili, and after doing this, players have reported to enter the negative world, appearing in the white room behind the mirror, or a Waluigi painting. Usually these lead to Piranha Pit, or Chief Chili can immediately drop Waluigi's key upon defeating him. Castle Grounds. The Black Box. On the select screen and early builds, there is a black box on the castle walls. Its intention is currently unknown, but it's probably just an alcove of Princess Peach's castle, which was probably removed due to how useless the area was. But that didn't stop people from theorizing. People have claimed that the black box can lead to Rabbit Meadow, the Negative World, the Piranha Pit, or the Submerged Castle, or just a way to unlock Waluigi, because of course. Ally with info. On the second floor, outside the mirror room, a toad mentions an ally with info in the mirror room. This is odd because there is no info given in this room. The toad could be talking about Wario, but he doesn't give any info. Or it could be talking about the power flowers, but they don't give info either. Info is literally short for information, but there's no information given. I'd like to give an answer here, but there's nothing about this topic. It really is just a mistake in the game. Submerged Castle. The Submerged Castle is an anomalous event that, floods the castle. This event is usually involved with unlocking Waluigi, because of course it is. This event most commonly occurs when Waluigi has lightning powers, but can also occur when Waluigi has other powers such as the magic gloves, Bob-ombs, or the warp speed ability. This event can occur via the black box as mentioned earlier. That's it. 151st Star. The 151st Star is an anomalous item found in the game. Similar to the original game on the N64, rumors started circulating that there are more than the total star limit. The way to get the 151st star is very inconsistent. The methods include collecting a star in an anomalous course like Rabbit Meadow or expanded version of Sunshine Island in Battle Fort, finding a purple rabbit, defeating Bowser in Bowser's Chamber, the secret mission in Chief Chili Challenge, defeating the Mad Piano with Yoshi, defeating Dazzling Waluigi in Waluigi Mode, an 8th mission in a regular course, even though the 100 coin mission is technically the 8th mission, so finding a 9th mission in a regular course, clearing Bowser in the Dark World, reaching Peach's balcony, finding an extra star tied to the Switch Palace, entering the black box, collecting 100 stars in a smaller level, catching more glowing rabbits, a 4th star giving Toad, the big star at the end of Bowser in the sky, and completing the submerged castle. Yeah, that's very inconsistent. Peach's balcony. Peach's balcony is an area that can be seen through a window in the Mario room, though looking from outside there is no balcony. This leads people to think that going through this window takes you to a secret course. People say that if you get Wario's power flower somehow and punch the window, or using one of Yoshi's eggs, you can break the window. And when breaking the window, most say it leads nowhere, but some say it leads to Rabbit Meadow or another star, or maybe unlocks Waluigi, because of course everything has to do with Waluigi, right? Because Waluigi's a missing character. Rabbit Meadow. Rabbit Meadow is an anomalous secret level found in some copies of Mario 64 DS. How the level is found is inconsistent, but it usually requires finding every rabbit in the game, even the honey's purple rabbit. The level is described as a large meadow filled with rabbits, hence the name, and even a boss fight against the Rabbit King. The level appears to parallel the Purple Prizes magazine scan's reported method of unlocking Waluigi, probably being the personalized level who made the magazine found. This level was populated by rabbit NPCs similar to toads, but some rabbits behave like Mips, where they run away, and if caught by the player, it would give them a key, which are basically useless at this point because all mini-games are already unlocked. The actual level is made up by many hills, trees, and a castle. Inside this castle is the Rabbit King, who the player will have to battle. This battle starts when you enter the boss fight arena. The Rabbit King would bounce around and leave shockwaves like Bowser, kick the player, and charge at them. The way to defeat this boss is to grab their leg during their kick and throw them off the castle, usually taking about 3 to 5 hits to defeat. After defeating the Rabbit King, he drops the key to Waluigi. There are 3 known missions in this level, and these include a race with Koopa the Quick, a Star Switch mission, and a 5 Silver Star mission. There are some other missions reported that replace the other missions, like an 8 red coins mission or unlocking a cage in the castle, but, these are inconsistent. The Piranha Pit. The Piranha Pit is an anomalous level found in some copies of Super Mario 64 DS. This level was originally going to be unlocked by using the unreleased game WoW Waluigi via the cancelled StarPass application. This area is similar to the Bob-omb Battle, being a huge forest with several vines that damage the player, and the boss, which is the big piranha plant. Real creative. This was meant to be the boss that would drop Waluigi's key upon defeating it. However, it was removed due to the cancellation of WoW Waluigi, which we will get to very, very soon. The level has 2 missions, collecting 8 red coins and reaching the top of the tallest tree stump. The boss of this level is the big piranha plant, of course, or the king piranha plant. The boss is described as a big piranha plant that would sometimes appear as black, purple, or yellow. The boss attacks using its roots to swipe at the player, or spawning regular piranha plants. The player either has to defeat them by ground pounding their head or using Yoshi's eggs. And upon defeating the piranha plant, they drop the key to unlock Waluigi. Kamek Kerfuffle. Kamek Kerfuffle is an anomalous level found in some copies of Super Mario 64 DS. This level was originally meant to be the level to unlock Yoshi, implying that he was not the first playable character, but instead Mario. This level is described as a jungle, similarly to the Boss battle, like Piranha Pit, kind of. This level has several enemies that are unique to this stage, likely due to the difference of theme compared to the rest of the game. The most common new enemies to see are the crows from the Yoshi's Island series and the Magic Koopa from Super Mario Bros. 3. The missions in this level include 8 red coins, an extra star that uses Yoshi's Power Flower ability, and that's basically it. The boss in this level is Kamek from the Yoshi's Island series. Kamek can fly around the area on a broom and occasionally sweeping down to attack the player. In this state, Kamek can be jumped on, but if he's not in his broom, he's teleporting around the arena, but you can just punch him when he does this. Finally, Kamek can use magic to attack the player, making the player punch the magic back at Kamek, reminiscent of the Kamela fight in Super Mario Galaxy, and when defeated, he drops the key to unlock Yoshi. Negative World. The Negative World is an anomalous area reported in Super Mario 64 DS associated with unlocking Waluigi. It usually appears as a gateway to a level used to unlock Waluigi, like Piranha Pit or Rabbit Meadow. This area can be accessed most commonly through the Mirror Room, which can contain a purple door, supposedly for Waluigi, of course. This can be accessed by clearing the secret mission in the Chief Chili Challenge, or a hidden painting in the castle. The negative world is described as a mirrored version of the castle, sometimes with a floor of some kind, but it's very uncommon. And leaving in the castle results in a new area, which is the destroyed city with a purple sky, but it's not important. But, it's there if you want to see it. Throughout the castle, a translucent Waluigi can be seen running around the castle, similarly to Waluigi Mode, with the ally with info. Another common entity is the inverted toad, who usually speaks gibberish or backwards. They don't do anything but exist. Bowser's Chamber. Bowser's Chamber is an area found in an earlier version of Super Mario 64 DS, back when it was still called Super Mario 64x4. This area is just a basic cube with all 4 characters facing off against Bowser. This area can be found in the black box, which drops the players in this room, and the boss fight is much different than the other Bowser fights. Bowser throws bombs for Yoshi to defeat them. Mario, Luigi, and Wario can just throw him into a wall to knock him out. When Bowser is defeated, he can drop the 151st star, a special ending, a key to a 4th floor, or, obviously, a Waluigi key. And speaking of Waluigi, Waluigi Anomalies. Waluigi Remnants. Scattered throughout the game are references to Waluigi, which could mean that he was once in the game. An example of a Waluigi leftover is the title screen, which has buttons that match the colors of the characters in the game. The Versus button is red like Mario, the Adventure button is yellow for Wario, and the Rec Room button is green for Luigi and Yoshi, and the Options button is purple. And another reference is in the rec room of Princess Peach's castle. There are dots on the ground that also correspond with the characters. And there are purple dots on the floor as well. There are unused purple rabbits in the files for Super Mario 64 DS. And finally, there are the multicolored Yoshis in the multiplayer mode for the game. There's a green one, a red one, a yellow one, and a bluish purple one. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of Waluigi references in this game, leading people to speculate that he was removed late into development. The Waluigi Apparition. This is more of a joke entry, but I'll cover it anyway because there are already little entries as is, but just remember that it's a joke. So, the Waluigi Apparition is basically the Wario Apparition, but with Waluigi. He will appear at the end of Dire Doc's hallway, becoming more and more apparent as the player gets closer. But when the player gets close enough, the head of Waluigi chases the player. But again, it's just the Wario Apparition, but with Waluigi, because he's a missing character. Waluigi Mode. Waluigi Mode, also known as Cheater Mode or Waluigi's Wraith Mode, is an anomalous mode found in some personalized copies of Super Mario 64 DS. This mode is unlocked by cheating in any way, like using moon jumps, a 150-star cheat, or pirating the game. This mode is described as a very difficult version of Mario 64 DS. Some changes are the enemies instantly kill the player upon coming in contact, which causes an instant game over. Difficult enemies appear more commonly, like the Mad Piano. 1-ups take away lives instead of, giving them. And Piranha Plant Vines appear throughout the game, blocking off some areas. The mode is called Waluigi Mode because of his antagonistic presence in this version, with him replacing Bowser as the final boss. If the player comes across an area associated with Waluigi, such as Piranha Pit or the Negative World, it would be extremely hard to navigate through, probably due to the game attempting to prevent the player from unlocking Waluigi. If you somehow unlock Waluigi anyway and go to the final boss, Waluigi to say,
"Listen here, hey, wait a minute. You can't fool me with that. Are you trying to mock me? This place isn't big enough for the two of us. Now I really want you dead."
Which will cause the boss fight to get even harder, but we'll get back to the final boss later, whatever. Waluigi's behavior consists of him running around the player and watching from a distance, and disappearing when the player comes close. Sometimes he is more prevalent in missions, mainly replacing Koopa the Quick. These missions are harder because Waluigi is faster than Koopa the Quick. Finally, at the end of the mode, you face off against Waluigi himself, but in order to get there, the player will have to beat Bowser in the sky, which causes the player to be placed outside of the castle. From there, the player will have to enter the black box, which causes the player to be spawned on a throne room. The room is a large circular room with a moon carpet in the center, with a space texture on the walls. From a distance, the player can see Waluigi sitting on his throne, which activates a cutscene where he says,
Alright, punk, listen up. You think you're slick, eh? Slick enough to get away with everything that you do? I know cheating when I see it, pal. I'm the best there ever was at it. What? You don't believe me? Who do you think you are? Fine, I'll just have to show you.
And then he holds out a power star.
Looking for these, loser?
Then a health bar appears, which he usually has 9 health, and Waluigi can throw big steelies in his fight, which roll around as a stage hazard. This form is dubbed Dazzling Waluigi, which is a reference to a future entry, Wow Waluigi. If the player dies in this fight, their file gets erased, and in the worst case, the game becomes unplayable, like it just breaks. And it is unknown what happens when the player beats Waluigi, or if they even can. Purple Prizes. Purple Prizes is a supposed article on Super Mario 64 DS talking about Waluigi and how he's a hidden character and ways to unlock him. The article states that the way to unlock Waluigi is by getting all 150 stars, becoming the fastest foot racer in the land, and finding a secret switch which reveals the door to Waluigi. Then the player would have to face off against the Rabbit King for its key. Just like every other character in Super Mario 64 DS, Waluigi has his own abilities. It states that his special ability is that he has the highest jump out of all of the group, and when Waluigi picked up a power flower, he turns into Warp Speed Waluigi, being able to move and swim super fast. At the end, Waluigi says that he has a special ending after being unlocked, but the contents of this ending is unknown because it was revealed to be an April Fool's joke shortly after being posted. StarPass. StarPass is a reported canceled application for the DS, which allows you to link 2 cartridges together as long as they are compatible to unlock some more content in both games. The most famous example of this application is linking Super Mario 64 with Wow Waluigi, an unreleased DS game centered around Waluigi, but we'll get to that later. But several other games were planned to be compatible, and that's basically it. Now we can get into the monster that is Wow Waluigi. Wow Waluigi. Wow Waluigi is an unreleased DS game that would have centered around Waluigi being the game that he would start in. Probably the only game, am I right? Anyways, the story revolves around Waluigi, who discovers a magic pair of gloves named, the Magic Gloves. Really creative name there, by the way. These gloves are used to collect 10 artifacts named the Dazzling Diamonds so that Waluigi can summon a genie to get a singular wish. That's it. Around halfway through the game, Waluigi would confront Wario, who is also trying to collect the Dazzling Diamonds, even though he doesn't have magic gloves, and they team up, and upon defeating the final boss, wow, we skipped a lot actually, Waluigi and Wario have all Dazzling Diamonds to summon Waluigi, who asks them for their wish. Waluigi shoves Wario out of the way and wishes for infinite wishes. Waluigi decides to punish them by forcing them to fight the Dazzling Demon for some reason. Upon defeating the Dazzling Demon, Waluigi and Wario both agree to wish for infinite wishes at the same time, and their wish is granted. But I thought that was like a forbidden rule in the Genie rulebook. You can't just wish for infinite wishes. That makes no sense. But whatever. The magic gloves are the primary mechanic throughout the entire game, and these gloves have 10 abilities but 2 unused abilities, even though the entire game is unusable, whatever. The first ability is the hammer, the second ability is the tennis racket, used in little tennis matches. The third ability is the big fists, which offer stronger attacks. The fourth ability is the screwdriver. The fifth ability is the drill, which is basically the hammer and the screwdriver combined. The 6th ability is the Slingshot, which is like a long-range attack. The 7th ability is the Paintbrush. The 8th ability is the Whip, which can grab objects. The 9th ability is the Umbrella, the slow following, The 10th ability is the Magic Staff, which shoot projectiles at enemies and it can also activate switches. And the 2 unused abilities are the Scissors and the Sword. In the game, there are many playable characters that you can, play as, such as Waluigi, Wario, Waru Peachy, and Wayoshi. Wario is unlocked after clearing the Obsidian Ocean, and has his own set of special abilities, like the Shoulder Bash. He can walk underwater instead of swimming because he's fat, and pull down objects from the ceiling. However, Wario walks slower and doesn't jump as high as Waluigi, and cannot use the magic gloves. If the StarPass is used on Waluigi and WarioWare touched, Wario Man is unlocked as an upgraded version of Wario. The Shoulder Bash does more damage, he moves faster, he falls slower when in the air, and he can jump as high as Waluigi. And speaking of, he is the next character, and is the main playable character, and the most basic. He can use the magic gloves, he can swim, kick, charge their sprint, crawl into small spaces, sneak to avoid certain enemies, and he's the only character that doesn't have any variants besides Wayoshi. Peach is the 3rd playable character. Oh my god. She's a counterpart of Peach, and she has abilities of the magic gloves, and she has Waluigi's abilities, except that she can't run as fast. If the StarPass is used on Waluigi and Super Princess Peach, the original Peach is unlocked as a reskin of Waru Peachy. Wayoshi is a strange case, because he technically isn't a playable character, but when he can be seen using the StarPass on Yoshi's Island DS and Waluigi. When doing this, a purple Yoshi egg with black spots can appear throughout the game, which causes a purple Yoshi to spawn. He acts like Yoshi's in other Mario games. They run fast, flutter jump, eat enemies to create eggs that can be used as projectiles. And I said that they're strange because in multiplayer, he is a separate character, but in normal gameplay, just a rideable companion. Now, this is where I would cover all sorts of things like tennis matches, tokens, shops, and enemies, but I literally can't be bothered to do that because if I do, this video would be like hours long. So I think it's best to go back to the surface before the AI gets really mad. And that will do it for today. This is much better than the old one. Not only do I sound better, but I also added more entries. I really want to talk about Waluigi in a separate video due to the sheer size of the page on the wiki, but who knows. I wish I could update you all on new videos, like upcoming ones, but there's literally nothing, so it would probably take a month or 2 to get the next video out, but I still think 3 videos in a month will be my record. I mean, obviously Mario Personalized 4 and Backrooms 3, but, I can't really share any new ideas that I have, because that's pretty much it. Not to say that I'm, out of ideas or anything, but, I don't know. I want to do an iceberg video, but that has been done to death. But yeah. But now I think it's finally time to end the video. Like and subscribe if you want, but either way, stay silly, goobers.